All right, to discuss this and the rest of the day's top stories, joining me now, Sky News hosts Joe Hildebrand and Liz Stora.
Hello.
Great to see you both on my first show for the new year.
Welcome back.
Happy New Year.
Look, Penny Wong, day one, flying to Israel, Liz Stora. What turning her back on the Jewish community?
Well, our expectations were low, but of course she has not failed to disappoint regardless. Let's remind ourselves the only reason, strongly, arguably, that she went at all was because Simon Birmingham made Labor look absolutely terrible late last year when he decided nothing is being done at a government level in regards to supporting Israel. I'm going to take a group myself, and that's exactly what he did. And it was only a matter of hours before then the news was heralded in our front pages that Penny Wong would in fact visit Israel. Notice she's no more visiting Israel than she is also paying a visit to Palestinians affected by the conflict. They've made that very clear. They are not taking sides here. This cannot be seen as a side-taking exercise. The fact that she took more than 3 months to even pay her respects in this way after the October 7 massacres says all we need to know. All the world leaders who actually gave a damn have long since visited these sites and have long since very strongly made on the world stage, as well as everyone at home in their respective countries, where their allegiance lies. This is absolutely no surprise from an Albanese government that has never once given a strong support to Israel and is now calling for a ceasefire.
We expected that Australian governments of both sides would be bipartisan in their support of Israel. Joe, it would have been so different if Bill Shorten was leader or Julia Gillard.
Yeah, it would have been. I think there's a couple of just weird issues here. The first is you've just had a Labor conference before any of this happened, which didn't realise that this attack was imminent, where they basically needed to get a deal done to get AUKUS up, and the cost of doing that was to shut up a few noisy, very ill-informed voices on the left and change some wording in regards to the party's official position on Palestine. Then, of course, this happens, and it's, as you say, the worst attack on Jews since the Holocaust. And the party's kind of head is spinning. Now, this is, if I'm correct, the first time both the Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister have both hailed from the left faction of the Labor Party. That's never happened before. It didn't happen under Julia Gillard's leadership.
And they're working very closely together, Albanese and Penny Wong. They've become quite a
they are very close, but you will notice that the PM is much stronger in his support, not enough by the standards of a lot of people I know, but much stronger in his support of Israel than Penny Wong has been. I honestly, to be honest, don't know why she has made. No, he never called on Israel to show restraint, for example, in the aftermath of the Hamas attacks. And when he was actually accused of being too pro-Israel, he actually said, and this was when he was in America, shoulder to shoulder with the Biden administration, he said, no, he goes, aren't you taking sides by being too pro-Israel? He says, damn right, I'm taking sides. I'm on the side against Hamas. So he has been stronger than that, than Wong has been.
That's a pretty low bar. He's stronger than
I think for many people on the left, traditionally the right of the Labor Party has been much more strongly supportive of Israel, as it should be, and as I am, and the left has been, Palestine has been the cause du jour. They see it as their new Vietnam. And I think the problem for a lot of people like Albanese, who has come up through the left but is now firmly in the centre, is that he's having a lot of his... I'm telling you, he's having... He certainly is having a lot of his worldview change now that he is sitting in the lodge as Prime Minister rather than being a factional warrior for the left of the Labor Party.
What has he done to show that? Because I don't see any proof of what you've just said. I don't think Albanese himself would say that he's in the centre. That is...
he definitely does.
To be in the centre, but maybe he's come to the centre compared to his radical position.
And I think that's part of the problem. And I think
left.
It's a bit like, you know how lefties will attack the ABC and they say, the ABC's got too right-wing, the Libs are running it now, and you've got all these lawsuits saying, ABC's not a safe workplace, it's racist, and the ABC looks at that and says, oh my God, we're too right-wing, we better move to the left.
Yeah.
And I think it's a bit like that for sections of the Labor Party and the left of the Labor Party. They get attacked so much by the loud left saying, you're too pro-Israel, that they do actually think they're in the middle because I suppose the company they keep is the one telling them that they're too far. But Alba, I think, has been pretty good.
Let's have a look at the US election. The Iowa caucuses are kicking off Monday US time, so by tomorrow night we will have an idea of how Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis are faring. Liz, what are you expecting? Are you expecting either of them to get a decent look in here?
Not really, no. I think anyone who thinks that Trump isn't going to take home the gong is not looking at the numbers correctly. Anyone who thinks that they're in the running, yes, Nikki Haley is supposedly second. We won't know until the numbers are in, but I think it's a shoo-in for Trump, as is the Republican nomination. I don't know. Obviously, other people have to put up a fight and put themselves forward, but it seems to be quite the done deal when you look across the board at how this is going to go.
There has seemed to be some momentum, Joe, moving in Nikki Haley's direction,
I think,
despite a couple of mishaps. But, do you think realistically she is has any chance here?
I don't think she's going to win. I don't see, there's no way, as Liz said, the numbers just don't really allow for Nikki Haley or Ron DeSantis to beat Trump in Iowa. I think the question is who comes second and who therefore has credibility and momentum in the race. As we all know, primaries are all about momentum. And Nikki Haley, I think, does have it at the moment. I read an interesting analysis in the Wall Street Journal that it's possible that Ron DeSantis could pick up evangelical votes that have fallen away from Trump, given his somewhat profligate lifestyle and occasional moral mishaps.
He was elected to be president.
And Nikki Haley, I'm certainly not one to cast stones. And Nikki Haley could pick up.
What does that mean? I hope you're not admitting any scandalous behaviour.
I've got all the scandals. I've done them all, but it's only a 1 hour show. And Nikki Haley apparently is a big, fast-growing, college-educated women joining the Republican caucuses, so that registering as Republicans. And of course, independents could suddenly register as Republicans or might have done so, which that would favour Haley and or DeSantis. So I think it's really a race for second place to see who's going to be Trump's contender. That's the one to watch.
All right. All of the mainstream media is very excited about our Princess Mary Donaldson becoming Queen of Denmark. The reality is that, I've done some research that Queen Margrethe, this is the first time in 900 years that a monarch has abdicated the throne. And you'd have to think, Liz, that it's not a coincidence that this has happened in the wake of media reports that alleged now King Frederick was having extramarital affairs. Yes,
and I don't think that came as a surprise to anyone. He was always known as the Playboy Prince long before Mary was even on the scene. And there have been other rumours throughout their marriage that he had not given up his old ways. And of course, most recently, evidence emerged that he was spending a bit of time with Genoveva.
Yeah, I know.
Casanova.
No matter how you say it with passion. Genoveva! She makes a pavlova.
Casanova, of all last names. How ironic that, yes, they had attempted this Picasso evening together. Then they'd gone out to dinner. Then they both went back to her apartment. Always,
emerged in different clothes
and always travelling separately but together. And I think it's not unlikely. I think this rumour, this theory that the Queen was like, you know what, I'm going to accelerate things here because I don't like how this is going. And what better than making your son king all of a sudden to bring that to...
Not many mother-in-laws can keep a marriage together, Joe, by offering the Queen...
I reckon it's a brilliant move, brilliant tactic, brilliant strategy, and unfortunately for Frederick, this has cost him the evangelical vote in Iowa. So it's going to be difficult to pull back from that.
All right, Joe Hildebrand, Liz Storer, thank you both so much, Liz. We'll see you at 10 o'clock tonight.